Right, some striking mine workers at Sibanye, Stillwater's Kwezi and K6 shafts in Rustenburg have begun to resurface. Over 200 mine workers staged a sit-in underground yesterday morning. The SABC has learned that most of those who have come out are women and those with some health challenges. The mine workers allegedly downed tools in a protest over the proposed employee share ownership scheme for Kroondal employees. SABC News reporter Sentleeng Lehihi has been monitoring this developing story for us. Sentleeng, a very good evening to you once again. You've been out here for several hours now trying to get a sense of the latest developments on the ground. Earlier you spoke to some mine workers there who were talking about the conditions underground insofar as some women who have now risen to the surface. Talk to us about what is happening there now as we speak.
Indeed, we remain posted here at Kwezi operations that belong to Sibanye. We have seen workers remain underground, a vast majority of the 200. But indeed, we have seen from the scant information we've gotten that about 30 of them have emerged from underground, those being women, and many of those who suffer from chronic conditions and are in need of some sort of medical attention. We've seen some emergency personnel also make their way to the mine premises here. We have not gotten some clear indication as to who and how many of those mine workers who remain underground or have emerged needed medical attention. We have seen for the better part of the day security remaining posted at the gates here of the Kwezi operations. Earlier in the morning we also saw a contingent of police also there maintaining some sort of peace and sanctity around here, but workers remain unrelenting in their demands, saying that they have made pleas to mine management to heed to the promises they made about giving them their shareholding, just as they've seen in many other operations that have been purchased by Sibanye. They say that they also have to be considered, as this was a primary condition to the purchase of Sibanye in this year operations. They say that to us that it was also one of their conditions in the negotiations in their salaries next year. But I'm going to just give you a bit of perspective on what is going on around here. Workers have also cut down a tree, started a fire to keep warm as the night goes on. In clear solidarity, we understand that a vast majority have also come from the K6 operations that have also halted operations following here this sit-in that has occurred. We've also just got some of the mine workers from K6 who just want to share the sentiments that have brought them here to stand in solidarity with the workers underground. Just explain to us, abasebenzi nifuna ama-shares eni anu nithini, because abanye they are still underground.
Mama, umlilo sizokubasa sizowotha umlilo lona. Into eyenzekileyo apha sisuka eK6 size eK5. Aba eK5 kunabantu bethu abalwela silula ama-shares. Sifuna ama-shares mungu wethu mama, ne? Base underground. Ngoku siselapha apha zodwa nomlilo loti apha kuzokubuye aba bantu basuka underground. And mama anjoba ndini so wotha nomlilo toti nangomso nibe lapha nemedia nizowotha nomlilo toti kude kubuye abantu underground. Sifuna ama-shares apha, ama-shares mama apha ne singusibanye. Sizobeza ngabo usibanye uJojo ngabo baba Jojo kale yabona usibanye nako usibanye. Kodwa mina ndisuka phi? Ndisuka eKroondal eK6. Kodwa ngondiphi ngondise K5. Kodwa sibizwa ngantoni? Sibizwa ngosibanye. Usibanye wathola ama-shares last week Friday. Asikawathoni nangokuthini. Abantu bethu beKroondal base underground nangoku. Nathi sithi surface phezulu asikehli. Nangoku sifuna ama-shares. Lelaba ngoyini esilaba ngayo ngoku ngama-shares.
Wazwakala baba. He's explaining to us that the irony in this company name, meaning Sibanye, you would accept to see uniformity in their approach to all workers in the operations that they own, but they feel sidelined and not part of the Sibanye family.
No, Sentleeng, that as you interact with some of the mine workers experiencing and expressing their concerns, they have vowed that they will continue on the surface for as long as their colleagues underground stage that sit in. They want their demands to be met. Any sort of communication with the Sibanye Stillwater management at all at this stage?
We've tried to have communication with management of Sibanye Stillwater. From our previous engagements with them, they explained to us that negotiations between the union representatives and them continue. They, in their stance, believe that this action by mine workers is illegal and was actually, in essence, jumping the gun, as the purchase of the 50% shareholding of Anglo has not been fully acquired by Sibanye. So we had an opportunity to actually speak to those who emerged from underground. You would imagine that by 8 o'clock, some of them had been there for about 32 hours underground in those cold conditions. And I'll just allow you to just give our viewers just listen to what the mine worker who emerged had to say.
Sisi condition underground I sharp at all. Rovezi Tomavani until ka 5 akela until noon. Usinan to recreate. Li karabo zir dibatlang from ya. Ewa arna karabo di noon. Bonsor ukariruna rietsa strike. Sisi omulaum mara on your side the rights are wrong. That's why Kerlinu Arali Koto ya Panam Zawalas of a shoe right Korea Fanel Zash is a real Baberiki Bamumani Rebecca is Sibanye Mara what Sibanye some side knew Bakra something not something Marari Sibanye Kaufe. That's what I know. Neruna Mashazra phone house Yakarlo Beriki Bamumani.
No, yana kutule batho ba bakae from underground do kusetse ba bakae from underground.
No ka batho plus mana suma ke te around yo ma food and ka re ba go tla se ka ra 200 something re ke counter the contract le reno re ditswe ke ba ka la dipilisi a swa ka re no dipilisi ya no tswa mabane o sa bona di treatment renwang a o be mona tsitswa.
So la reng ha le hitsa go kopana le ba ba leng ko tlase le imeditse lona mara la reng to santse tswela pele
ntwe samba tswela pele a ka se morao sa krase re senyaka a taema re krase re senyaka.
Now we've also been able to be joined by another mine worker who's also emerged from underground. You'll understand that they've also spoke quite outrightly about the threats that they've also received as SMSs. So I'm just going to go a bit closer to him because quite a number of them want to speak to us, but we'd actually like to speak to Ntate who's just emerged from underground. Ntate, o fetsa go tswa from Kotlas Khalifatsi. Se mo so kopaneng le sone la reng le badiri lu dule mara ba bang ba santse ba le motlas khalifatsi
nna ke tla wa fela yalo ai nara tsena mavana re tsena afternoon shift so te ara fitla kora bana tlela di gedi ka tiketana ra khona go tsena re le go dimo ka shafti modimo ka shaft from mavan from afternoon yesterday we kon re tswa ka no mavana ba rona ba re tivela wa re nditswa ka nkana bozo batata action matla go re khona go tswela kwa ntle mara re ga no re jona batho ntare le bone for underground re nge sitswi re se ba bangwe ntse ba setse kumkotini so na ba re ntsa kankano ba se re ditunya ba tla re mala security ba tsa ba action sa go felo so re fitse re ra nna re khone re tswa ka no thank you
la reng tota le badiri ntatwa ka semo sa lona la re ga le shuti mo khanya di shares
ya rona re ba dira wa company na ribitse re to kra di shares bozente re tla from komorao re itse re to kra di shares so kanye ndzi va bua ka yona kanono a ri ta kona ku understand ku ri ku etsalang ka yo because na ri remise ri to kry-a di-shares because na ri itse rona ra qualify ra itse ra qualify from February now na va ri ra qualify so ha ku fitlha na va ti-shares va mongwe va di-kry-a rona ri kona ku kry-a di-shares so I don't know ri ku etsala le no ri tse ri kry-a fullback e sharp e fetsiki ku ri matata a ko gae
badiri ba ba leng ko tlase papa a ba siame dijo metsi jalo jalo
ke bua nnete ka nnete a ba comfortable ko nada a ba sharp ko tlase because dijo na re ra romeliwa ko tlase from abana a se ba kry-a sepe khona vana ba romela ka jeko dilo tse di se mosola di-banana di-apolanyana di se re sepe ke kore ba di romela dijo tsa tiona ba di romela a ba di isa ko tlase a di a fitlha
ke lebogetse nako wa go ntate wa ka word coming from one of the mine workers who's been in the mine in solidarity in their demand for their shareholding, explaining to us there that in as much as the mine management through their security tried their very best to force them out of their shaft and out of their designated work areas, they refused to leave up until this point in solidarity with those workers. He's also bemoaning the conditions that workers are facing underground. It is not a comfortable place. They are also not getting nourishing food. They are not getting any proper meals that will properly sustain them. But this is not tempering their efforts from us here in Kwezi as mine workers continue in their solidarity with those underground. Back to you in studio.
Very well, Sentleeng Lehihi giving us that development on a story we continue to monitor, a developing story out in the northwest.